In this screencast, you will learn how to manually assign peer reviews in a Blend assignment. So I've already created my Blend assignment and have added it to this module here so that I can show you how I add peer reviews and how I manually assign each student a colleague or several colleagues whose work they will review. Just as a heads up, for this particular assignment, I specifically assigned students a peer reviewer who wrote over the same topic. So maybe in your assignment, depending on how you want to manually group students, you might group them by like levels of writing, but I included this Google form in my Blend assignment so that I could know which prompt students had written about so that I can group them accordingly. When I go to edit, in a previous screencast, I walked through how to assign that peer review. You want to find the section that says peer reviews here. You want to check that box to make these parameters appear. And in the previous screencast, I showed you that Blend can automatically assign those peer reviews, or this is the option for this screencast here to learn how to manually assign the peer reviews. Remember that you want to make sure that this box is checked no matter which of these two options you choose, because we want to adhere to FERPA and remain compliant and make sure that caregivers looking at their students' feedback don't see personally identifiable information from the peer reviewer. So we'll keep that anonymous, and I'll put a deadline so that it appears on the to-do list and the calendars of my students, and I'll go ahead and save. So to do a peer review and manually assign it, as a teacher, I should see this peer review button appear when I click that peer review box. Here are my students, and I can click underneath their names to add as many students whose work they will review. So it says here in Blend, student peer reviews will be considered complete when students have commented at least once on the page and filled out the rubric for the assignment. So that's Blend reminding you of the parameters. I also put that in my Blend assignment to let students know when they get that check mark at the top to show them that they have completed their peer reviews. So I can group students by similar topic or by like levels of writing. I can assign as many or as few, so that student only gets one student to peer review. So this student at the top will get this student's work, and that's how it works in Blend. So I can assign as many items there as needed. This student will get 3. I mean, of course, usually I would just do 2 per student, the same number, or depending on the length of the essay, maybe 1 for each. So this is very time consuming if you have a lot of students. If you have smaller classes, this is certainly doable. And as a note, so I taught secondary, I would see all of my students here. This is not my secondary list, but I would see all my students there, and I had a whole Google spreadsheet to help me figure out who wrote over which prompt and who I'm grouping with whom. So it definitely is a laborious process, but if you do want to manually assign it for students, again, you click here, give this student another submission to assess because there is none assigned. This student currently does not have anyone's work to review, and I can just go ahead and keep adding and keep adding.